From fatigue to vitality, how to quickly move up the spectrum to the health that you really want. A lot of people realize and understand that health is your real wealth. Like Gandhi talks about this, but a lot of people, understand it, but don't really put any process in place until they are really sick and they have to spend all their wealth or borrow or loan or savings or things like that on their health. So we were interviewed by Business First magazine quite a little while ago, and it just brought to my attention, one of the things that we went through is we taught about the health spectrum. So I just thought it was perfect timing, to teach about this. And let me just share with you what they did, in the sense of the article, Health Spectrum, the 9 levels of peak performance. But where I want to bring your attention to is actually on the health spectrum. And you'll see if you're reading or watch further along, I'll explain the whole levels of the health spectrum. But what's so amazing and wonderful about this is when I explain this to any person, any level, it like, oh my goodness, I totally understand it. And this is where I want. So like any other spectrum, there are so many spectrums. There's the spectrum of the rainbow. There's people on the spectrum. We hear so many different things today. The chakras are in a spectrum for some of you who might understand energetics within the system. So this is something that we put together as a lighthouse. So we're looking at the top level is what we call the mindfulness prism. So this is like an awareness. This is like, ultimately you're doing things for your body and for your health that is going to keep you in good health or above. So this is like indigo level, good health or above. The wellness prism is when things it's like the wellness industry. So, people are doing like yoga and qigong and, acupuncture and remedial therapy and massage and all these different things to try to stay well and to sort of move them out. This is what we call the treatment prism. And this is something where we see a lot of the doctors, medical professions spend a lot of their time because they medicate. So let's take you through a bit of a journey. This is linked to the 6 stages of disease in Ayurveda, which is written in texts like 5,000 years old. So they knew back then that there was a spectrum of health. They just didn't put it into this format. This is a way that for you to understand it. So let's go from here, the accumulation level. So the accumulation level starts at a point where disease starts to accumulate. So you'll have this, like your stomach is like the first stage of the disease process, and digestion is particularly not working. So you'll get some sort of symptom or some sort of, I don't feel very well, something feels a bit upset, I've got some discomfort in my digestive system, but you'll ignore it or you'll stop taking certain things and it will rectify, but it actually doesn't resolve. It can get worse, and so it can aggravate. So it can aggravate by certain imbalances, like too much air in your body. So you'll have like, like burping or bloating or, constipation, or you'll have too much heat in your body. You'll have like fire or heat or reflux or diarrhea, or you'll have too much mucus in your body. So you'll have like nausea or this feeling of heaviness and things like that. So this is when your body is starting to aggravate, but again, there's no disease process there, and you may taste something, or you may rest, or ignore it, like most of us ignore it, but it will keep on going. So what's the next stage is it starts to spread. So in the digestive system, if the body can't digest it and metabolize it, it forms something called ama, which is a digestive toxin, which is sticky, thick, and it starts to mobilize around your lymphatic tissue. So your body moves it around the tissue, and this is what we call spreading. So the spreading stage is actually a pretty dangerous stage, because if you ignore it, it then starts moving it to all the different channels in the body. And this is when you feel tired, lethargic, weak, you have low energy, you have fatigue. We have so many people come to us in this stage where the channels and the tissue is becoming polluted by digestive toxin. And so if we don't change that, seasons can make this also, different seasons, because you've accumulated from like the winter season, which is the cold, or the summer season, which is the heat. And the body has to do something to eliminate. But if you don't give it a chance, it will spread. So it's now spread, it's in the lymphatic system, it's moving into the channels and moving into the tissue. And then it's going into what we call orange level. So you're moving down this spectrum. So you're going further and further into the darkness. So up here in the lighthouse, you can see everything. It's quite clear. There's a lot of visualness. So when your health is in like good space, you're in the best place possible. So when you're localizing, it's localizing particularly in a weak area of your body. So let's say, I've broken my collarbone multiple times from a couple of accidents, fractured my skull. I've done rupture in my lower back from, when I was a hammer thrower and I had surgery. So these are weak areas in my body. So when I have toxin buildup, and I know it, when there's toxin spreading and localizing, I will get pain in my body. I'll get pain in my lower back. I'll get pain in my shoulder, pain in my neck. And it is a sign to say, Joe, the toxins are building up and they're localizing in the weak area of your body. Now, if you don't do that, do anything about it, it just keeps accumulating. So you go have physio, you go get osteo, you go get chiropractor, you go get a massage, but you haven't fixed the inflammation that is deep in the channel, and you haven't strengthened the tissue and eliminated so the body has a rejuvenation process. So that can turn into arthritis, can turn into chronic, inflammation, it can turn into degeneration, it can turn into all of these different things. And we have multiple people walking around with so much pain in their body, but it's because they're in a lower level of the spectrum. Again, doctors won't really do anything. They'll give you pain meds, they'll tell you to do certain things or go to certain practitioners. But again, still that toxicity is not moving. The red level, which is disease level. So disease level is when you have been diagnosed with a particular disease. Like you might have blood results that have been sent to you, and you'll see it and there'll be like liver enzymes high, cholesterol, there'll be glucose issues, metabolic issues. You might have some sort of, gout or kidney issues or different things. So now the doctors have something to diagnose you with. Now, when this comes into diagnosis, the doctors then give you usually a medication, and that medication will something to handle that symptom that you're getting. And so you'll be taking meds, and that is just treating the symptomology. It's actually not treating the root cause. So then what happens is normally you need another medicine to treat the symptom of that medicine, and you need another medicine to treat the symptom of that medicine. So I'm not saying if you are taking medication to stop medication at all, but I am saying that the reason you're taking medication is because the spectrum of disease is accumulating in your body, and it's laying down deeper and deeper into the channels and into the tissue. So the body is rejecting that process. So it has turned its good, healthy cells against itself. And then the disease process starts forming. So you're doing something to stop yourself from feeling that or keeping yourself alive, but the quality of your life is diving. Like what we call health span and lifespan. You want to have a good long lifespan, but the health span, you don't want to be in palliative care for those last 10 years or 15 years of your life because you were on multiple medication. I had one client who came to me who was on 13 medication. And at that point, I remember a medical doctor, a good friend of mine, he said when he was a doctor, if anyone was on any more than 9 medication, they will hospitalize them. They would take them off all the medication. And because normally the medication's been given by different specialists or different doctors or different things. So they would monitor them and go, which one's causing what issue? And let's get down to the root cause. And the other thing is they're not addressing the diet. Nobody's addressing the diet, what you're doing physically. Are you exercising? What you're doing on a daily basis of routine, how you're metabolizing your food, how you're digesting, how you're eliminating toxins, because all this accumulation starts to build up. So this is disease level, and infrared is chronicity. So this is cancer, autoimmune disease. So this is when your good, healthy cells are being attacked by another cell and it's turning that cell. So it doesn't even know what to do anymore. So it's confused. So there's multiple and hundreds of autoimmune disease now or cancer. So every one of us has cancer sites in our body, but it depends on whether it metastasizes. So you want to be in a state of very little inflammation. So your body doesn't have the environment. We've had multiple people with autoimmune, thyroid issues, multiple autoimmune issues, and we detoxify them, at this point, and we turn the inflammation story and flip it on its head. So therefore the body can actually recover. And all of a sudden we get their blood results back and they're like, oh my goodness, like these are improving and my levels are improving. So they are moving their way up the spectrum. So how do you move up the spectrum? Depending on where you are, we have a health spectrum test and you can do that. Then what you want to do is, first of all, you can only manage what you can measure. So by doing this, it's not about like, judging yourself or saying that you're not enough or whatever. It's just about knowing where you are. So if you are on disease level, or you are on chronicity, don't get discouraged. There is ways you can definitely move up the spectrum. We want everyone to be at good health, ultimate health, and optimal health. And, being able to teach you and educate you where you are. So go and do the test, see where you're at. One of the best things is once you get to that orange level, which is the spreading level, if you don't cleanse and detoxify your body lymphatic system, it is going to move down that spectrum. So it's about catching yourself. We teach our clients how to daily detoxify, how to use different things to help heal the body and clean the body. The cleaner you are, the better your digestion is working, the better everything is working. You have an amazing health span and you have peak performance and you have the ability to have vitality, longevity, and good energy. So I hope that helps. Find out where you are on the spectrum and let us know. Send us a message of what your results are and how we can help you as well.